So this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. I've kind of held off. I mean, I don't really play Fallout 76, so I just never really thought that I would need to talk about the topic, but honestly, I think it's a pretty interesting one to cover because, I mean, this game has so many possible implications for Bethesda in the future. It's definitely going to be an example that we hold in the gaming industry for a long time, and it's the perfect example of what not to do, really. And we all know that this game has done bad. I mean, it doesn't even need to be really said. Like, you can look at the sales, it's underperformed in sales. It's even done worse than Battlefield 5, which, honestly, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I really didn't. And keep in mind, Battlefield 5 is doing awful too. I mean, I think it's, 60% below in sales than the previous title, so yeah, Fallout 76, it's not doing too hot. And we all kind of know what's wrong with the game. I mean, they literally just kind of put out an unfinished product. It was basically early access, and they never said anything about that being early access. Apparently, they're committed to fixing the game over the next few months, maybe even years, but at this point, I think for a lot of us, that trust has already been broken, and I think we can all agree that you shouldn't have to buy a $60 AAA title and then be like, oh wait, maybe the game will be finished in a few years, that'll be great, right? I mean, once you pay $60 for a product, at launch, it should be at least semi-completed. And the only reason I say semi is because a lot of games obviously introduce DLCs and stuff like that. So, on top of that, I think a lot of the trust that has been really broken for Bethesda has revolved around how they've handled the incident. I mean, Bethesda has pretty much kept silent about the entire thing. I think they've released a couple statements regarding the disappointment around Fallout 76 and how they're quote-unquote committed to making it better. But the truth is, are they really? Are they really committed to making this game better? Are they really gonna fix its problems? And of course, with all of these things in mind, what does this mean for the future of Bethesda? Did Fallout 76 ruin one of the greatest game development companies of all time? Really, it depends on how you look at it. I would say there's a lot of different things to kind of take into perspective here. I mean, if you look at Bethesda's catalog of video games, they're giant, okay? There's no getting around it. I mean, Elder Scrolls alone would put them up there with, like, the top dogs, but they also run Fallout. I believe that they publish Doom. I'm not 100% on that. I think ID makes Doom and then they publish it. Of course, they have things like Wolfenstein, which, you know, I don't really hear a lot of people talk about, but I mean, I've played both of the games. They're okay. They're not great, in my opinion. They have Rage. And then, of course, they have games like Starfield coming out. So, I mean, it's not like Bethesda is some small company and that this is like their first game that they've put out. This is a massive company. They have plenty, really, to, I guess, kind of fall back on, but the thing is, Fallout is definitely one of their bigger franchises, okay? I think we can all agree on that. And this game was massive. I mean, the PR around it was massive. And the nightmare that ensued, I think, really broke a lot of trust with the fan base. I mean, I personally didn't need the PR to break my trust. I played the game. Okay, you know, I saw the problems with it. I kind of saw how they reacted, especially when it came to, like, the collector's edition bag being a completely different version of the bag that was advertised, and then they basically just told them to go fuck themselves when people said anything about it, so I've kind of saw the whole thing happen. I've been kind of in the midst of it. My trust was just broken by how the game came out, really. But I mean, that PR cannot be good for Bethesda. This is definitely one of the bigger examples of a bad game, really, in the last few years. I've seen people compare this to the situation around No Man's Sky, but the difference is that now, at least, No Man's Sky is pretty much a complete game. And it's not even really that bad anymore. Like, it's actually a fun game. They kind of delivered what they promised. And of course, I hope that happens with Fallout 76. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, I hate Bethesda now and I want Fallout 76 to never be good. I mean, I bought the game. I wouldn't wish that, so I just can't imagine, especially in the Fallout community, people having a lot of trust going forward. And as for myself, like, I pre-ordered Fallout 76, and I only pre-order games that I'm pretty much guaranteed to play. I used to be really into pre-ordering games, but as time has gone on, you know, there isn't really a point, especially with digital purchases coming along and stuff like that. You know, back in the day when digital purchases weren't popular, especially when, like, I was a kid going into my high school years, they weren't as popular, or I didn't really want to do digital purchases, I would pre-order games, but now the only games I pre-order are, like, Call of Duty, because I know I'm going to play that pretty much every year. Like, I pre-ordered Red Dead Redemption Redemption 2, I pre-ordered Fallout 76, and I pre-ordered Battlefield 5, so for this year, I struck out twice. I pre-ordered 2 of the games this year that I wasn't going to end up playing, so that sucked, but I'm not really much of a pre-orderer anymore, so I wasn't really ever going to have to worry about, like, pre-ordering an Elder Scrolls game. I mean, I like Skyrim for what I've played of it, but I'm just not really that into that kind of game, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fun and all, but it isn't something that I'm gonna, like, guaranteed enjoy, so... But it definitely has prevented me from going out and just pre-ordering the next Fallout game. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but whenever the next Fallout title comes out, I'm not gonna go pre-order this fucking game, and I'm not gonna pre-order some special edition, because I got the Tricentennial Edition. I was extremely excited for Fallout 76, you know? I'm a huge Fallout fan. I mean, I have posters all over my room, I've got all kinds of merchandise and shit from the franchise. I mean, I've been playing these games for a long time, so, I mean, I've always really enjoyed it, but Fallout 76 has me iffy about Fallout, you know? It has me afraid to go and get the next title. And if other people are following the same route, which honestly it kinda looks like they are considering the extremely low sales of this game, Bethesda really might be in trouble. I mean, if this really carries on, that's gonna definitely be a problem for them that they're gonna have to find a way to address. And what Bethesda really should be scared about considering, okay, I guess I'll have to talk about this a little bit. Okay, so Fallout 76, a lot of the problems really with the gameplay completely resolve around the outdated creation engine. I mean, there's literally bugs from Fallout 4 in Fallout 76. Or at least there was. I haven't played in pretty much ever since the game launched, so I don't know if they've updated it or not, but yeah, when this game launched, it had bugs from previous titles, okay? And in a AAA game, that almost should never happen. Let's be really honest here. That's something that should just... you'd never really have to worry about. But when it comes to the creation engine in Bethesda, which for some reason they vehemently defend this outdated engine that makes their games look like they're on like the PS3, you're gonna see bugs like that, and you're gonna see problems in the gameplay, and they've been highlighted so well by the community at this point, I think we all know about them, you know? I think that's gonna be a problem going forward, because they've already confirmed that I think the next Elder Scrolls game, the Elder Scrolls 6, I think is gonna be on the creation engine. Starfield, I think, is going to be on the creation engine. They're sticking with this engine. And even though the community has been begging them to move away from this outdated junk bag, they just refuse. And if you're Bethesda and you're openly just like telling the consumer literally, you know, we're not doing what you're asking, and then you're pretty much signing up to just have all these problems with the gameplay, especially after one of your biggest releases really of the last couple years did what it did, you know, Fallout 76, that really isn't a good look. I think really the best thing that Bethesda could do, okay, is they need to delay all their upcoming games and find a way to get them off that engine. Like, literally, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I don't see a new Fallout title until 2025. I have no problem waiting for a game as long as it's good. Like a Grand Theft Auto game, they come out pretty much once a decade, it seems, at this point, but every time they come out, they're just such exceptional titles and they're so much fun. So, I mean, I have no problem waiting for a title. I waited a couple extra years pretty much for Red Dead Redemption 2, so it's not really a big deal. But if you put out a good title and you put out something that's enjoyable and is actually a quality video game, and you at least listen to the community, especially after what happened with Fallout 76, I think you're going to regain a little bit of that trust. And then on top of that, you're preventing a lot of these issues going forward, because a lot of the problems with Fallout 76 revolve around the fact that it's fucking broken, or at least that it was. And Bethesda's whole reputation, really, is kind of centered around the fact that their games always come out broken and buggy. Pretty much every Bethesda title really comes out just buggy, right out of the gates, broken. At this point, honestly, it just makes you question whether or not they even, like, quality assure the games, if they actually play them and play test them to figure out what's going on. And their whole company has kind of become a meme around that whole situation. That's pretty much their reputation at this point, is that they make some stellar games, but they are just the worst at quality assurance and at public reputation, really, you know? I mean, especially if they continue down this route they're going, I don't anticipate Bethesda's next few games to sell very well, even in comparison to what they were supposed to. I know Rage 2 isn't going to come out and sell, like, you know, Call of Duty or Red Dead Redemption 2 levels, but unless it's like Elder Scrolls 6, I don't see them just coming out the gates selling shit tons of titles. It's just... I don't see that going down. I mean, whether you're a fan of 76 or not, you can't pretend that they haven't hurt their reputation. They've completely scarred themselves. They fell on their swords on this one, and it depends on how they patch that wound really going forward. Like I said, as a Bethesda fan in general, you know, I'm very hesitant really to pre-order or buy any of their future titles, especially ones on the Creation Engine, at least until I can get confirmation by like, you know, reviews here on YouTube and stuff that the game's decent. And it seems like the gaming community in general really has kind of just side-eyed Bethesda a little bit surrounding how this game has gone, and how that really keeps going in the future is really going to determine the success of Bethesda. But with all of these in mind, really, has Bethesda really gotten fucked by Fallout 76? Has 76 ruined Bethesda? I wouldn't say that Bethesda is ruined by Fallout 76. Their image, I would say, is definitely completely scarred. I wouldn't say it's all the way ruined, really. Just simply because, you know, Fallout isn't their huge franchise, really. I mean, they have, like, Skyrim, like I said, Wolfenstein, Doom, things like that coming out, so they have a pretty diverse fan base, but Fallout is definitely one of those bigger franchises, so they definitely took a hit. But if they ever put something out like 76 again, especially in the near future, like, let's say, oh, I don't know, Doom Eternal comes out and it's just complete garbage, it's in the same boat as 76, then people, I just don't know. I think even at that point, Elder Scrolls 6 would be fine, but yeah, I can't see multiple failures in a row like that really going down well, especially considering all the shit they've gotten for Fallout 76. I don't know, I figured that was an interesting topic to talk about, really. I mean, it's just been interesting, really, to see this whole thing go down with Fallout 76. Honestly, it's like a really bad car accident on the highway, right? Like, it's horrible that it happened, and it's disturbing, but you still almost have to look, just like out of that morbid curiosity. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here. Follow me on Twitter at @SubTheOptimus. Join the Discord down below. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. I don't know if I'll have a video out tomorrow. I'll probably be working on the Optimus Rewind 2018, but that will be coming out on the 30th. So yeah, I will have a video guaranteed up on the 30th. I think you guys are going to like it. And that'll probably be it, honestly, for the rest of this year. So thank you guys for sticking with me. It's been an amazing year. One that I never really saw coming, honestly. And, you know, I'll save all the rest of the sappy shit and stuff for the rewind, but until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, watching 76 plummet, and signing out.